everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Mayor Tyler Moore Show here on the Kokomo Post. My name is Drew Larison. His name is Mayor Tyler Moore. MTM, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. I'm recovering from a busy weekend. We kind of talked about that. I knocked out a handful of items on the whole homestead, as well as did a little yard work for some of our neighbors too. So
love that. Look at this guy. A true public servant.
Oh, that's not why I said it. It's just because I'm aching. I'm one of those that because I haven't been working out, you find the muscles that you haven't used in a while.
Sure.
Going, what did I? Oh, okay, yeah.
See, I like to support our local economy and just hire people to do the yard work at my house.
Perfect.
Any way I can help, It hurts nobody.
Right.
It just helps the economy. So I don't have to worry about those things. But good to hear you're helping out your neighbors. I asked you before, even though you're the mayor, you still have to do honeydew lists?
I've still got stuff to do at home, yeah.
Wow.
I'm not the king of the castle when I get home.
You're the king of the castle downtown.
Well, not even that either sometimes.
Jennifer Jordan. She runs the city. Yeah. No, I saw her over the weekend. She's on vacation this week. She deserves it. Good for her. So tell us, we start the show off every week. What's going on in City Hall this week in the big building downtown? We're
still trying to work with not only the Howard County government, but the governments and elected officials and leaders from 5 of our surrounding counties as well, as we look at the regional initiative that the state enacted. It's the READY funds. And so as a regional group that includes Howard County, Tipton County, Fulton County, Miami County, Cass County, and Clinton County, we are collectively coming together to put together lists of proposed projects that the state funding could go. So we're vying for $50 million worth of
chump change
to put towards our region. So coordinating those efforts with the projects that we have in place or have in mind for our ARP or American Rescue Plan funds that we got the first half of installment last May, next installment next year. So seeing how those coordinate of what can kind of be hopefully included into the READY grant to free up funds to add more to what we might be able to hear locally. So a lot of coordination in that respect. But engineering wise, everybody's still noticing a lot of the work going on the streets. Real quick, you will have, let's see, so tomorrow, those of you that frequent Dixon Road, or even those that live along Dixon Road, E&B is going to be putting in some overtime, and they're going to pave that stretch of Dixon from the Markland Bridge to Boulevard starting tomorrow, but they're going to work into the wee hours of the morning to stay ahead of schedule. So unfortunately, those folks along Dixon may get a little bit of noise or some lighting along there as they knock those lanes out. But the good news is that they'll be done in a couple days as opposed to dragging it out.
It'll be worth the wait and worth the noise and the lights. So that's good to see. Anything else going on, or that's like the big stuff going on?
That's the big stuff. I mean, still kudos to our KPD. We're getting a lot of positive feedback on the additional patrols down on Foster Park and Kokomo Beach. Nice. A lot of folks are appreciative of the presence at Kokomo Beach that everybody's been able to enjoy it, especially with the heat the way it's been. So
love to see it.
Yep, loving it.
So the big thing going on, I guess, in my life and like a lot of people in the city's life right now is it's the last week of summer for a lot of kids that are going back to school. So I thought we'd have a little fun talking about just when we were in school. Specifically, I want to know, do you have a favorite grade? Do you have like a grade when you were in kid? And maybe we can do like your favorite elementary grade. Maybe we can do, like your favorite high school grade or something like that. But do you have one that really you remember quite a bit? Because I do. I have an elementary one that really stuck out to me. And I don't know if she'll ever see this, but it's one of those cool things. I was a teacher that really made an impact on me in 2nd grade. And it was I went to Northwestern, and I had a teacher named Mrs. Worley. And if you went to Northwestern or know anything about Northwestern, she was a pretty iconic lady. Sure. She was a really, really popular 2nd grade teacher. And I remember, I didn't even know if this was like state curriculum. I don't know why we did this. But I remember halfway through the year, every year she turned her class into a fudge store.
Oh my gosh.
The whole class, she would bring in a lot of
your favorite.
Well, like it was really cool because she would bring in all the ingredients. She taught us how to make fudge. We had like 3 or 4 4 different kinds of fudge. And then literally other classes would come. Students would know, hey, it's fudge week in Mrs. Worley's class. They'd bring their quarters, and we literally had a store, and like she showed us how to run a storefront and things like that. And like it's just one of those elementary memories I'll never forget. And I remember there was also there was a funny moment looking back on it now, and I've talked to some friends about it later in life. For some reason, one week she told us all to bring to school like leftover bottles, like different sizes, like a 2-liter or like a, just a normal bottle and everything like that. And then we did the, like you blow on the top of the bottle and it makes different pitches. And we learned about different pitches with different noises and things like that. And I remember the awkward moment, like some kids literally brought in old beer bottles from like their dad, and like there was still some beer in some of them, and like laughing at that now as a kid. We were second graders, probably like maybe tasting beer for the first time
there you go. See,
in our second grade class. It was kind of funny. But Mrs. Worley, I just have so many awesome memories from Mrs. Worley at Northwestern Elementary School. So what about you? Do you have like a specific elementary grade that was like your favorite?
Well, probably, I think once I hit 5th grade, and I was at St. Joan of Arc, and it was before it was St. Joan of Arc, St. Patrick together, but a parochial school. And in 5th grade, was being taught by Sister Danielle. And during the winter months when we had inside recess, that was when she taught a small hand of us to play euchre. So I actually learned how to play euchre from Sister Danielle in the 5th grade.
Way to go, Sister Danielle.
Yeah. And
after school, there was some bets going on.
Right, yeah. Over in the convent.
Exactly. No, something like the manager's closet, something stereotypical like that. There was an after class like teacher gambling room going on. Yeah.
But no, I think the most transformational, if you will, that's such a key word these days and such, but was when I went to Kokomo in 8th grade. So that was the first year of the consolidation of Kokomo and Hayworth. So it was in 85, I think, was when it was 8th grade. And so they had, again, Kokomo and Hayworth coming together, and then they had the South Campus, so 10, 11, and 12 out at the Hayworth building. And then downtown, which is now Central Middle School, they had 8th and 9th grade. And so I was the first 8th grade class through the consolidation, and just having us 8th grade and freshmen downtown, it was in our own little world. I mean, it was awesome. I remember playing freshman baseball, and we'd walk downtown, to Louis when Coney Island was down here for bakes and Coneys before practice and games and such. And so, I think my 8th grade year was probably the most fun and most memorable.
That's cool. Yeah, I mean, high school, I don't know, I want to say just my senior year. Like my senior year was probably my favorite year in high school. I mean, even though junior year, so I went to Northwestern, as I said, my junior year is when we won the 2A state championship in basketball. So that was a pretty big memory. But Mr. Gilmore was definitely my favorite teacher in high school. So he taught like some business classes. He's still at Northwestern to this day. He taught accounting, and for some reason he tricked me into thinking that I would really like accounting. So when I went to college, my first major was accounting, and the first accounting class I took happened to be a 4-hour night class on Mondays for accounting. Which, shame on Indiana Wesleyan for even making that an option. Like these poor freshmen. Hey, you know how you're going to spend 4 hours on your Monday night learning about debits and credits and learning about accounting, which I quickly changed my major after that, and it all worked out. But yeah, Mr. Gilmore at Northwestern was a great high school teacher for me.
Yep, mine was Kitty Bell.
Kitty
Bell was my English teacher, again, the 8th grade year, and she was probably the toughest teacher I ever had, but I think the one that was most instrumental in forming me as a leader and even communicator. But my mom hated it because I'd be sitting at the dinner table and they'd all be talking, and somebody would say something and I would correct them. And she's like, "Oh, stop!" And, and then I
can't relate to that in any way.
I've been doing that, for years, and so again, I attribute that to Kitty Bell and her to deal with mom. It's kind of a love-hate relationship. I mean, she loves the woman that she is and everything, but just hates the fact that she helped create a monster.
Yeah. See, I can relate to that, but in the opposite way. My mom was an English teacher, which is nuts to think about now if you ever text with her, because the woman can't spell anything correctly. She's still using like the text shortcuts that we used to use back in middle school. But also I married an English major, I guess, a woman who has an English degree. So I'm constantly being corrected on things I'm saying incorrectly, or maybe I'm typing incorrectly.
I was going to say, does she correct your texts?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, so many.
Gosh.
But I tell you what, it leads up to when I get her, like I correct her in a moment. It's some of the proudest moments of my life. Like I'll never be happier than in those moments. It's she's trying to turn off the camera now. No, but those are great moments when I catch her in an incorrect grammar, which I will say it happens once in a blue moon. So not a big deal. But yeah, I mean, I've got 2 kids. Are your kids all out? Or how many kids?
I've got 3 now in college and 2 finishing up high school.
They'll be seniors?
The boys are sophomore, junior in high school.
So you got a few more years still in school for
sophomore college, freshman college, and then junior, sophomore, high school.
A lot of kids. Man, I've got 2 kids. One is going in the 2nd grade, and I have a kid starting kindergarten this year. So it's a big deal. We spent the weekend school supply shopping.
Oh, yes.
We did the whole thing. I've got a really funny picture. Maybe we can pop up that on screen right now of my son, who was just done with school shopping. He was literally laying on the floor in Target.
My kind of guy.
Finished with it all. And I'm trying to get him excited about it. He's such a sweet kid. But I'm trying to get him excited about it because I could definitely see him being similar to me when it comes to school and everything like that, which is good because I've learned a lot about my experiences.
Which means you're going to send him to a 4-hour accounting course when he gets in
Monday nights. He's going to do a 4-hour accounting class as soon as possible.
Poor guy.
No, but I'm excited. He's excited. They're both going to the same school. Now, selfishly, as a parent, I'm very excited about the one drop-off.
That is huge.
Anybody watching this could maybe relate to that because I've been doing 2 buildings for 2 years now, and I'm done with that. But anyway, so school's starting up. Most Kokomo schools are starting August 2nd, and I don't know, everybody's different schedules these days, and I think it has something to do with, like, you know, some schools have 2-week-long spring breaks, some schools have 2-week-long fall breaks. I mean, the summer flew by for me this year, so I don't know if summers are just getting shorter, but that's exciting to see. Kids are going to be going back to school soon. Next thing I want to do is ask the mayor, because we've got so many questions to go through this episode. Thank you for sending those in. As always, if you have a question for the mayor, just leave a comment here on this video, or I think we're trying to get into the habit, like first thing Monday morning, put up a post on our Facebook page reminding you that we're going to be shooting the show, because we shoot the show on Mondays. Reminding you that we'll be shooting it. That if you have any questions, leave a comment there. But we've got a lot of questions. Some are fun. Some are just pretty normal municipal type of questions. So let's get into it. This one's from Jeremy, I'm guessing on Facebook. Will Albright Road and Alto Road ever get sidewalks? From Jeremy on Facebook.
Yes. Alto, the plan, eventually Alto, not anytime soon. I know they are plans, but with the amount of pedestrian activity, we're looking at the east side of Center Road first, Goyer Road as well, towards the Meyer Walmart area, and before both of those, Berkeley between Markland and Sycamore. But I know Alto and Albright have been talked about, so in time, yes, probably not anytime soon, though. Sorry, Jeremy.
Gotcha. So, yeah, Jeremy, at some point that will happen.
Let's hope.
Next question is from Courtney on Facebook. Is Kokomo going to have another Touch the Truck event or Christmas parade this year? Which I think this has been asked in a previous episode. Yeah.
So, Touch the Truck was huge success. It was at the GM parking lot last year at Boulevard 931. Unfortunately, because they will be storing a lot of their vehicles while waiting for chips to come in, we are unable to go out there. But we have set it up for Sunday, September 12th, from 11 to 4.
Day after my birthday.
Hey, cool. We'll celebrate.
I don't know why that was relevant or anything like
that. So yeah, Sunday, September 12th on the Inventrek Park parking lot. So it's there off of Home Avenue.
Explain to
Furman,
people too, what is the Touch the Truck event, I guess, if people aren't sure.
Right. So I forget, Dave Trine, is our operations coordinator, help runs transit as well, came across this event elsewhere in the country. So it's basically an opportunity for fire department, police department, sheriff's department, towing companies, the street department, whether it's our dump trucks, street sweepers, lightning loaders. I mean, just the various vehicles that kids and families see throughout the community, ambulance, you name it, for one afternoon come out and they get up front, up close and personal, with the like you said, the utility vehicles that they see on the street. A lot of them get to climb up in it, honk the horn, run sirens, do flashlights and stuff, and some of them will do demonstrations. So it's just an afternoon of come out and actually get up and touch and feel and see and climb up in a lot of the vehicles that these kids see on the street. So huge success last year. Had to move to a different location, which is fine, but we appreciate the folks at Adventrek for doing that.
They expanded that parking lot too.
Yes.
So it's a massive.
Yeah, so we'll close off Furman.
Had some graduations there a few weeks back or something like that. Yeah, they're doing a lot in that parking lot.
And Christmas parade, yes, it's the first Saturday in December. I forget what that date is, but it'll be the Saturday after the First Friday event that afternoon, probably around 2 o'clock.
I'm weirdly getting really excited for Christmas. Like already.
Already.
I'll be honest. I've been known, especially in the office, I don't know, kind of as Scrooge. I don't know why. I like Christmas. I think I get overwhelmed with it all a little bit. But like for some reason this year, I've been getting really excited really early. And that Christmas parade is something I'm excited about. No, she knows it. But I don't know. Like we've already watched some Christmas movies. Like my son is obsessed with Jingle Bell Rock right now. We've been listening to that in the car. I don't know why. I mean, it's July. So, but even our office tonight. So we normally have like a Christmas dinner for like the office. We did not have it last year due to COVID. So we've made up this. We're having a Christmas in July office dinner.
I was just going to say yesterday was July 25th. So that would have been
that would have been perfect.
We're 6 months away.
Yeah, that would have been perfect. We didn't pull that off. So I don't know. I'm weirdly excited for Christmas, Courtney, as well as you. Awesome. So the next one is Roger from Facebook. Last time I checked, the Coco Go bike rental had no pull behind trailers for little kids. Can those be added for next summer, or is there too high of a liability for that? Can I answer this one?
Of course.
They do have them.
He may be talking about the little carts that the kids sit in, those trailers, as opposed to
what he's talking about.
But yeah, you're right. They already have the little bikes that the kids. I mean,
which is great for kids to learn balance actually when you're trying to learn a bike.
But as for the carts themselves, I mean, the little two-wheel, I'm assuming that's what he's talking about.
Little bike canopies. Basically.
That's a good question. We can look into it because I think that would be a lot safer than some of the kids learning the balance on one of those trailer on the back. Could be a liability thing, but if the staff are the ones securing the trailer and it works into the waivers that are signed anyhow, I think that would actually be a nice little addition. We might just have to do some extra cleaning or sanitizing. I mean, because I know we had one when my kids were little, and after outings like that, because there was usually two of them in there, I mean, it was just a mess in there. There were Cheerios and Cheetos and spilled juice boxes and melted popsicles and everything. So that might be an issue too. But we'll look into it. That's a great idea.
Love that. So yeah, thanks, Roger, for that question. Now this one, it's kind of a savage question, and it's kind of a ridiculous question. And honestly, Cheryl, we debated if we were even going to talk about it, because you're kind of being a little savage, but that's what keyboard warriors do, and you now fit that category. Mr. Mayor, Cheryl on Facebook would like to know, I have been wondering, is it dark in Paul Wymans' pocket, since it seems like he's the one that runs this town? Cheryl from Facebook.
Well, I'm not sure, so I don't know if she's asking because she's hoping to maybe work her way in there. I don't know, but I know that
knowing Cheryl, there's no way of knowing
that Commissioner Wyman and I work very well together and have since we were commissioners for the county, and that has transitioned into a great working relationship between city and county. And I know that last year during the pandemic, the commissioners, more importantly, Commissioner Wyman, took the lead in notifying the community on what was happening happening, updates and the commissioners passing things. And so a lot of things that the county does affects the city, because the city is in Howard County. And as any laws, ordinances, or things that are passed, just like the state, if the state passes something, both Howard County and Kokomo are bound by that. Now they can change that or make things more restrictive. And so when the county would do something, that's more restrictive, then it's usually applies to the city, unless in the ordinance itself it indicates that it only applies to the unincorporated areas of Howard County. But outside of that, Commissioner Wyman has been a champion for our community. He and his committee have done a great job with the Haynes Apperson Festival, for a number of years, giving that to our community. He's been a champion for Turning Point and allowed, so many of us to be involved with that. And so, yes, it appears that Paul Wymans has a lot going on in our community, and I think our community has benefited greatly from it. Now, as commissioner, he has no authority over the city departments and such. Ordinances, yes, that may be passed, but no, I'm proud to say that in this first year and a half of my first term as mayor, that the working relationship between city and county, not just in the administrations and the executive branches of government, but sheriff's department and the police department, city street and county highway. There's just a lot more cohesiveness. And so if that translates to us
you being
working
in his
well
pocket.
and me being in his pocket, or him and mine, don't know, but yes, we work very well together, and
that's a good
he's
thing.
done a lot of things outside of his commissioner role for the community.
And that's a good thing. I think overall, county citizens, city citizens, it's better for everybody if those two entities are working well together. If they're not, and they're bickering, and like pettiness becomes a thing between the two organizations or different, areas, that's not a good thing for the actual citizens. So, I know it's there's kind of always has been like this city versus county possibility out there, but it really is best for everyone, city, county, citizens of both areas. If everybody's getting along, they have the same goals, they're moving towards the same finish line. That's
personalities
and
agendas aside and moving forward.
Pettiness is not a great thing that benefits anybody, so that's good to see. Awesome. Next one, questions. Oh, sorry, this is from Carmel on Facebook, not the city. It's a person named Carmel. It's Carmen. There was a typo. That's fine. Editors make typos. Questions. We were playing pickleball at Foster Park because they have restrooms. Bonaire pickleball court does not have restrooms, but they locked the restrooms at 8:30 p.m. while we were all playing. What time is it that they are supposed to be locked? It's been hot out, so we play late evening. Also, thank you so much for having the extra police out. It has made a big difference when we've been playing pickleball. Carmen on Facebook. So I guess there really only was one question, but there was more than one statement.
Yes.
So the question is, what time are they supposed to be locked, and is it possible for them to get locked later, I'm guessing?
Yes. So Carmen is one of a large group that does play pickleball up at Bonaire Park, and we appreciate sport, that. By the way. And them keeping us posted when the lock's been busted or a net's been ripped or something. And so, yes, knowing that the availability of bathrooms has been an issue at Bonaire. I know I've been in conversation with Tori Rowe with the Parks Department that maybe there could be some access granted to those that do frequent later in the evening. I think a lot of times the restrooms are secured for safety reasons or for supplies. Believe it or not, especially last year when the bathrooms were left open, toilet paper was getting stolen from
a lot
shortage of the public. So a lot of it has to do with that too. Just for security and safety, but we are definitely looking into what can be done to help accommodate our pickleballers that do play a little later in the evening.
Gotcha. So there you go, Carmen on Facebook. Next question is from Sheena on Facebook. Will sidewalks be added on West Jefferson between Dixon and Malfalfa? We've been annexed, is what they said. Got it. So we've been annexed.
Yes. So sidewalks from along Jefferson from Dixon to Malfalfa.
Yes.
I don't know that there are any in the plans now, but with the increased amount of residents in those neighborhoods and the pedestrian activity, I would not discount that as being an area that we would consider as we continue to look on developing the north to northwest side of the community. So just like Albright and Alto, it would warrant looking at sidewalks on that area. More than likely, I would guess, on the north side of Jefferson, obviously with Kroger and some of the those two larger neighborhoods there would make sense. So I would say it's a very good possibility that we would consider that.
Nice. Thanks, Sheena, on Facebook.
Yeah, thanks, Sheena.
Zach on Facebook is the next question. I've seen a lot of smaller cities around us with the electric rental scooters. Is this something Kokomo can get in the future? Dear God, I hope not. They're a disaster.
Well, there you go.
If you've seen these in NB, they're just you just throw them everywhere.
I know, and we have had a couple private companies inquire about the possibility, but with Kokomo size, those. I know he said, in smaller communities, I think Marion has them. They've got a larger campus presence, with Indiana Wesleyan than IU Kokomo would be and such. But
for now,
that's right. I hope they keep going. But I don't know that the scooters would be, it would be a great novel thing right off the bat, but as much as our trails are used by walkers, runners, even bikers, I think the scooters would end up there. Not only traveling, but again, like you mentioned, just dumped and left. And so
Indy has a bunch of issues. They throw them in the Monon, they throw them in the water everywhere. It's a debacle.
So it would be something that, that company would assume the liability and retrieval and such of those. But it's nothing that the city is specifically looking at. We probably have to amend some of the ordinances for their use if they were to come. But there has been interest, but not part of our plan right now.
Gotcha. So, Zach, you can thank us later for not doing that. Next question is from Joshua on Facebook. What are the city's future plans around the removal of unnecessary stoplights? Why would we do that? It's our nickname.
Yeah, Stoplight City.
You're trying to ruin our
kill our image.
Yeah.
As traffic studies get done throughout the city, and so if there are certain areas that could be identified as unnecessary stoplights and four-way stops put in, obviously at one point there was a need or a desire or a plan to have those installed. In some cases, maybe more than it needed to, but still with the amount of traffic warranted some type of stop. So we rely on the engineering department as well as traffic commission to look at those. So if he's got a specific stoplight or series of lights that he feels are unnecessary and could go to four-way stops, by all means, you can email the engineering department and make a request to the traffic commission, which is made up of a number of individuals in a community as members to the board, to then look at and make a recommendation to the city. So, always open to ideas and suggestions, especially when traffic or safety is involved.
Sure. I'm team roundabout, by the way.
Oh, good.
I love a good roundabout.
Where do you want one?
Time, wherever.
Okay.
Whenever. Just turn the entire city into a roundabout, in my opinion. Next question is from Lynn on Facebook. I just got canceled, by the way, because Kokomo does not.
Kids, Big Bend Parliament.
Yeah, Kokomo does not feel the same way about roundabouts that I just expressed. Lynn on Facebook wants to know, I'd like to know why the younger ball players, T-ball through minor, can't continue to play at the city parks, at least keep one or two of them for them. Championship Park is not set up for pitching machines or T-ball kids. It's barely set up for Major League, said Lynn on Facebook.
Well, this being the inaugural season for that, even though each league was still identified as their individual league, but playing out at Championship Park. So Championship Park, or those leagues, will now become the Cubs League, so KUBS, the Kokomo Unified Baseball and Softball League.
That's what that stands for?
Yes.
I thought it was just like their mascot.
Yep. Nope. I think the presidents or make up the Cubs governing board will take a look at that and take a lot of that into consideration, because you're right. I mean, with as many T-ballers as there are, parking was a concern as well. I mean, so I don't know if there's any thoughts for that. Now, the city, our plan is to maintain at least one ball diamond at each of the old ball diamond sites for use for practices, maybe some makeup games if they wanted to for the teams to use. Obviously, you practice or play on natural grass as opposed to turf out of the Championship Park. Mm-hmm. But I think getting a couple seasons under their belt will allow the governing body to then look at how effective that is, or if people get used to it, or maybe how they can better schedule things and such. But with this being the inaugural season out there, they're just working through a lot of the growing pains and transition. So that's something that I'm sure they'll take into consideration, or if she's part of a particular league, reach out to that league's president, who is, again, more than likely that representative on the governing board of the Cubs, and they can take it there as a suggestion.
In Championship Park, I mean, we've talked about it quite a bit on this show, but those people, they know what they're doing. I mean, they're really smart with this type of organization, this type of event venue. I mean, they're the same people that are running Grand Park in Westfield, which has now become one of the country's best, sports complexes. So, I mean, give them time, but I mean, they know what they're doing out there, and it's still going to continue to be a great thing for the city. Next question is from Heidi in real life. So it's actually Heidi from the Kokomo Post here. With school starting and bus traffic, she should just pop in and ask. With school starting and bus traffic starting again, does the city do anything to help ensure the safety of the students?
On the bus routes, again, looking at intersections where there may be unnecessary stoplights or the need for stop signs, we rely on the schools to establish their bus routes, and I know engineering probably works with them as well, with the number of kids that walk to various schools. If there's areas that need attention, we would assist in that manner. Safety for the schools. I know the Kokomo Police Department has a great working relationship with Kokomo Center School Corporation and provides safety resource officers at many of the campuses. Some are shared, and so we've got 4 that rotate between schools, as well as one at the high school and Boulevard. But that is probably the best way we can assure the safety. But as for again, kids walking or buses picking up, and so making sure that we put out public service notices to folks to remind them to slow down and be aware that school buses are out and kids are back in.
Sure. Awesome. Second to last question is from Tabitha on Facebook. And she just got straight to the point here. Please fix all these destroyed roads on the northwest side of town. You fix them. And then when exactly will the utility workers be done?
Got it. So I'm assuming she means
I'm guessing so.
The streets where
she
NIPSCO
specifically wants you to fix all of them.
Okay. So we will stay on top of NIPSCO. I'm assuming that she means all the places where NIPSCO is replacing the gas lines. And unfortunately, they have 2 different contractors doing the work on that. The one team or one outfit is replacing the pipeline and then moving on to the various areas. And then they've got another contractor that comes in and cleans up and repaves the streets, sidewalks, alleyways, wherever they've been. So it's kind of a catch-up game as well. I know our engineering department does a great job staying on top of situations and on top of NIPSCO and their contractors to get them done. So if there's specific streets that she has in mind, email me, mayor@cityofkokomo.org, and we can look in to see if it is something that NIPSCO is responsible for, or if it's something that maybe we did some work on that needs further attention.
Sure. Do we have time for one more? All right, we'll do one more, and it's a doozy. So this one's from Lori on Facebook, and there's a lot to it. But
okay.
We need more trolley stops with covered benches, and bring back the Kokomo Rider program where we pay a low fee to get to places. I wasn't sure. What is that? So
I think the City First Rider program was a city subsidized taxi service that there was a particular cab company in town that the city paid money to provide the low cost service to, and that kind of went to the wayside when the trolley system came into place. Now I know the struggle with Lori and others is that when the trolleys shut down between 6 and 7, that life still goes on. They still want to go and do, later on. Or if you get stuck at the mall, or I guess the trolley doesn't go to the mall. So either Meijer, Walmart, Kroger, and such, that there's that problem. But as for covered shelters and access and stops and stuff, a lot of that has to do with the availability of the ground at those stops.
Location. Yeah, we talked about that before.
Yeah, the property owners, if they would allow a shelter to be placed, a lot of times it depends on the amount of riders that show up on that particular place on the route. I mean, not to discount that everybody should have cover when they're waiting on a trolley, but again, a lot of that has to do with access where each stop is, and even if we continue to add more stops, a lot of that, again, depends on the need for additional riders, but then adding additional stops prolongs the time and can affect the efficiency of the routes themselves. So,
got it. So the last part of her question really isn't a question. Lori, I think you should just apply for a job at the city because you're coming up with a lot of ideas here.
Sure.
They say another thing, maybe more outdoor movies or some kind of free activities at Foster and Highland Park. An ideal day for 18 and over at Kokomo Beach once a month. That sounds interesting. She said that would be nice. We could use a petting farm to be in one of the parks for the younger kids. One thing that is really needed for the youth is an indoor entertainment center, like a roller skating rink, rock wall, or an arcade, or indoor go-karts.
Perfect.
She saw one in Texas, but she thinks we could use a mini one. We need to stop building all these apartments and concentrate on our youth. Stop building all these apartments. Or wait, those are private developers that build those, not the city. Anyway, Lori, so I mean...
Great ideas.
A lot of ideas there.
Yes.
So get to working on that petting zoo. All right. That'll be interesting.
Did you know there used to be a zoo in Highland Park?
I do. Okay. I did know that. So one of my friends, his grandparents ran it, I think. Because we used to live right on Superior, and we were right across the street from the house where it used to be behind.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So, I mean, I never went over there. But, yeah, there used to be a zoo in Foster Park. There's a lot of great, small town zoos out there. We were thinking about... taking our kids before school starts to a zoo, and a lot of people talk about the Fort Wayne Zoo being better than the Indy Zoo.
I've heard that, yes.
Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe we'll go up there.
We had talked about that and hadn't. So yeah.
I think it's smaller, it's more intimate, less overwhelming like the big zoo. But maybe we'll go up there. But anyway, so there's a lot of ideas. Like I said, I want to update on that petting farm, petting zoo soon. That'd be interesting. Anyway, so the next topic, I'll just remind you too, like I said at this top, if you ever have questions, please write in either a comment on this video as it's posted on our Facebook or Instagram pages or websites. No matter where our content is, you can probably leave a comment somewhere to leave a...
Because if you don't, my brother's going to.
And we don't want that. So brothers are the worst. No, so, just leave a comment wherever you're watching this video. We want to know your questions. He wants to know your questions. He gets really excited excited when he comes in here to film this and we tell him we have a lot of questions. So he loves answering the questions, loves being as interactive as possible with the people of Kokomo. So make sure to leave those questions. There's no such thing as a silly question, even though some people, Cheryl, I do poke fun at you a little bit. Your questions are a little savage sometimes, but hey, you saw the man can take it. We're here to answer questions and give some inside access to the mayor of Kokomo. So that was the Ask the Mayor segment. Next thing I want to talk about is movies with the mayor, which you gave me a great assignment last week.
Great.
The Sixth Sense, which is a movie we talked about a little bit last week. It's a movie that fits into a timeline of my life where I wasn't allowed to watch it when it came out, and I just never got around to it. So such a good movie.
Oh, I know.
Mel Gibson, I miss him. I feel like he hasn't been in a movie in a long time, or maybe I just haven't seen it. No, it's not Mel Gibson.
No, Bruce Willis.
Bruce Willis. Sorry. Bruce Willis. I haven't seen him in a movie in a long time. Maybe I just haven't seen any of his new movies, but like, he's so good.
Yeah.
He's so talented. And like, there's a reason, you know, he's as famous as he is, but like seeing him in this type of role was really interesting. I don't know if he's done other thrillers really much.
There's been a couple dark ones. Did you ever see 12 Monkeys?
No.
Oh.
Maybe that'll be an assignment one day.
Should we stick with the Bruce Willis theme and do 12 Monkeys?
Man.
I just now thought of it. Because
really
actually the first time I saw that was probably the month of July, however many years ago. And that's just, I mean, it's Bruce Willis and Brad Pitt, and it's
I like it.
Kind of let's do that one.
Brad Pitt's one of my favorite actors. Yeah.
But yeah, Bruce Willis, he's made a few cameos. We went and my sons and I went and saw the new Snake Eyes, the G.I. Joe Origins.
Oh, okay.
And so we started thinking, have there been other G.I. Joe movies? And I totally forgot Dwayne Johnson was like Duke and two of them. And
that's a typecast.
Channing Tatum was in it as well. Yeah. But one of those, Bruce Willis was casted as Joe.
Love it.
In it, I think. That so makes sense. Yeah, so he shows up, and he's been a lot of good ones. But
it was so good. I love M. Night Shyamalan. You know, he's done a lot of movies that I really, really like. Signs is one of my favorite movies.
Oh, see, that was Mel Gibson.
One? Yeah. Oh, you're right.
Yeah. So you were in that mindset.
Yeah. What other movie? We saw it in the movies. The Village. I remember The Village being really good. It has a great... Did you not like it? See, I thought it was really good. I love his like dark, twisted thrillers. I mean, he's definitely that category of films. But I mean, no, it was really good. It was interesting. I told you, I already knew the big plot twist, which like... It happens right in the beginning. So, I mean, throughout the rest of the movie, like, if it definitely changes your experience with the movie, which I guess, I don't know. Can I say it or not?
But after you know it, I mean, I love going back and going, oh, man, 100%. I didn't see that. Oh, why didn't I see that? That's so cool how he got planted it the whole way through.
See, me watching it was that the first time.
Yeah.
You know, so that definitely made it interesting. I have to watch some movies that, that fit into that category of like I'm describing that I didn't watch when they came out, but now like I need to watch them as soon as possible. So they can't get more spoiled for me. What? The Godfather. And that's another movie I've never seen. I've never seen Scarface. Like so many like just epic films of American history. Like I haven't seen so many of them. I need to, but you know what? I have these things called kids, and it makes it hard to watch like good movies that are maybe not appropriate for kids.
Yeah. And 12 Monkeys is not. So don't think we were talking about this too. Oh, the monkeys! Yeah, let the kids watch.
Not what
don't
it's about.
Let the kids watch 12 Monkeys.
What are we watching, Dad? I don't know. The mayor told me to watch it. There's 12 monkeys. Isn't that cool?
And one falls off the bed and bumps
it. Man, it's gonna be great. 10 minutes later, I'm driving my kids to therapy. Yeah.
Funny story along those lines. My wife
and I
kids
to therapy?
Like, no. That would probably. But no, my wife and I are like, man, I remember the Bad News Bears. That was so fun. Trying to think back that. So we rented that one night and started watching it. Holy cow! And like in the first 20 minutes, I mean, Walter Matthau, he's drinking on the. He's driving to the practice.
Why was I allowed to watch
this? All kinds of, there were racial slurs. We're like, whoa. And so we were done with that one real quick.
Yeah, it was kind of like Tiger King when you watched that with your family. Talked about that during quarantine, I remember. But anyway, it was a great movie. Love Bruce Willis. And honestly, it reminded me how much I like his acting. He was in some movie recent-ish years. Was it called Looper? Was that Bruce Willis? Have you seen that movie?
I have not.
It's kind of like this futuristic where they can go back in time, and it's like this crime movie, and he's like this futuristic, tough guy. I could have used another expression there, but like
that's cool.
He's just this futuristic guy, and he's just classic Bruce Willis.
Yeah.
It's like the Die Hard Bruce Willis, but insert like futuristic time loops. Is it Looper? Yeah, great movie. If you haven't seen it, highly recommend it. Look at me giving you recommendations.
Good.
But it just reminded me how much I love Bruce Willis, and when he stops acting, it'll be a sad moment for like American cinema, because he is just honestly like a Leonardo DiCaprio, or somebody like that. Like, it's going to be sad when they're gone, because they make movies so much fun.
That they do.
All right, so is 12 Monkeys?
If you're good with it, sure.
I'm good with it.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's that
was a
style
good one
of movie
to think of, sure.
Yeah, I'm down. Let's do it. 12 Monkeys with another Bruce Willis movie. I'll watch that and have it ready for you next week.
Perfect.
And then I have it in my notes this week. I'm not going to forget. Do you have a dad joke prepared?
Oh, a dad joke. Sure.
Yes, I totally came prepared.
What do you call a droid? A droid that takes a wrong turn and goes the long way around a building?
I don't know. What do you call a droid that takes a wrong turn?
An R2 detour.
Ayo!
Wah,
wah, wah, wah, wah. Anyway, thank you for watching this episode of the Mayor Tyler Moore Show here on the Kokomo Post. My name is Drew Larison, and like I keep saying every week, please leave a comment below if you have any questions you might have for the mayor for next week's episode. But thank you so much for watching this episode. We'll see you next time.
Take care, all.